for almost 23 years now. I'm based actually in Ghana, West Africa, for last 19 years. Uh, Actually joined a Italian and British multinational as a CEO in 2006. It's the second largest privately owned conglomerate in Ghana. Presently, my responsibility actually to look after around 8 different companies in different functions. But primarily, I look after the finance and admin role for the whole group as a director of finance. Also, by qualification, I hold around 6 fellow degrees in finance, including CA from Ghana, India, fellow CIMA, CGMA, IPA from Australia, FFA from UK, also an alumni from Harvard Business School and IMD Business School in Lausanne in Switzerland. On top, the biggest, I think my qualification is basically I am a devotee of Sri Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra since birth, because my parents are also devotee of Sri Sri Thakur, who is my spiritual guru and my mentor and my supreme love lord. That's I think to do, and I live here with my family. I have 2 lovely daughters. Their eldest one is 18, and the younger one is 7. And I come actually from Orissa. Actually, I'm Bengali by nationality, by my tradition, but I settled down in Rourkela in Orissa, which is called the Steel City of one of India. So that's actually where I have been settled. And that's actually a brief intro for myself. And in addition, actually, I also represent, I sit on the board of Indian Association of Ghana, which actually is the biggest kind of an umbrella body, which manages around 17,000 Indian expats in Ghana. It's an 80-year-old NGO, and I actually sit on the board of the Indian Association of Ghana for last 3 years. It's an elected position. Look after the Finance, Audit, and Governance Committee. And also, I'm the president of the Oriya Association. And from last year, actually, we have commenced the construction of Lord Jagannath's temple in Ghana, and we're actually just about putting the first level of the roof next month. So that's the bit of social engagement I have, and my responsibility and my role and functions in Ghana, basically. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepak da. Sanjeev da.
So this is Sanjeev. Basically, I'm a Bengali guy, as Deepak da, but I don't have too many degrees like Deepak da. Professionally, I'm a mechanical engineer. I'm a professional engineer in Canada, and I have been working in oil and petrochemical in the ExxonMobil refinery for more than 10 years. So the main important part is I have family. I have 2 kids. The elder one is in grade 11 and the younger one is in grade 4. So basically, I was in Singapore. I was there for 5-6 years. Then I migrated to Canada with my family. And the interesting thing I like to share is, I think I will not forget in my life that when I got immigration here, then I was looking for a job. So since I have a guide in my life, I mean, Thakur Anukul Chandra is my guide. So the interesting part, you can say, is a miracle that when I was trying, I approached to my friend, whatever you call, is my friend or guide or my father, whatever you call, it doesn't matter to him. I reach out to my guide and I was given some tricks. I was trying, it boosted my confidence. And then I was very fortunate that I managed 3 jobs when I was in Singapore. So a lot of people in Canada, I mean, being here, I think I came here in 2013, almost 7 years. I'm Canadian now. I'm a Canadian citizen. But in these 7-8 years, my realization is 95% people who immigrates in a new country, they have to go through a struggling period. And with his guidance, I did not have to. That is, it's like a magic in my life. I came with a job, and it's not an odd job. It's an engineering job. I joined in a fertilizer plant as a reliability engineer. I don't think I'm capable of that. The thing is, by following some of the guidance and tricks that boost up your motivation and your instincts in such a level that you can show your capability that you are fit for the job. And even I was selected over the phone from Singapore. When I landed, straight away I joined to my new position. It's kind of, I have been there like, you know, I was born here, like have been here for 20 years. So I got a professional job. I shared that because how a person can reach to his or her goal with the guidance of a ideal or a teacher or a friend, that is very important. Because even sometimes, you know, if you read few lines, that could change your life, because that creates a churning in your brain in such a way that you can find a way. So that's what happened to my life. And as I mentioned, it's snowing now outside, so I like it. But the most important things to boost up myself and my family, I have a friend, I have a guide, I have a teacher that keep me motivating all the time. So that's kind of my introduction, where I get all the enthusiasm and my motivation. And to keep me motivated all the time is a secret of my life. Though it is secret, I'm just revealing that in front of you all. And we have a few brothers and mothers that have the same faith here. So we registered the organization Satsang in Canada as a Satsang Canada INC. It's called incorporated in Canada. And we are working to make it as a charitable organization. So I'm the president of Satsang Canada, but that is not my identity. The identity is, as Deepak mentioned, I'm a follower. I'm a devotee of Thakur Ankul Chandra. I love him. We love him very much. We love him in such a way that though he's not here physically, but we feel him every day. We feel the attachment with him, you know, feel like he's with us. He will get priority in every task. Like if I go to market for grocery, if I buy some fruits, you know, the seasonal fruits, I think of him. I try to get something for him. I offer to him. This is kind of my imagination, and we feel that he's there to accept my offering. So that's kind of our mindset. And being that in your mindset, that changes your inner view, how you see the world. Like, you know, we always try to help people. Where is that coming from? That is coming from because of his teaching. So that's kind of a feeling we have, and we try to help as much as we can in our neighborhood, because the volunteering is the main thing in Canada. And we have been trying, but there are maybe some flaws, but we are trying to correct it every day. That's all I have.
Thank you, Sanjeevda.
I've been in Ireland over 40 years, and I was always interested in spiritual welfare. So I found a School of Philosophy, which is a practical School of Philosophy where I'm a member, a student, and that made me study Sanskrit, because we study Sanskrit in this School of Philosophy. It's basically Advaita Vedanta that we study there. So the students are all adults, and they follow night courses there, and then they put it into practice during the day. And they wanted their children to have the same information and help in their lives. So that's why we started a day school for children. We use the same building where we have the philosophy groups in the evening. During the day, the children go there. So that building is never really without people. It's always busy. And so then because we're following Advaita Vedanta and we're studying Sanskrit in our school, we obviously need to know Sanskrit. And we felt the children, it is really important that the children learn Sanskrit. So there are 6 other schools in the world in the same positions as we are. And we are all doing Sanskrit as part of our curriculum. We have some other practice, like to rest. There's a stillness exercises we practice in between activities. We fall very quiet, we pause, and we surrender to the Paramatman at the beginning of each activity and at the end of each activity. So the children also practice this, and it just gives us a little bit of peace and quiet and re-energizes us for the next task. So that's a very powerful thing. And then we meditate 30 minutes in the morning and in the evening with a mantra. So, I'm going to just share the screen. Now, I hope you can see that. I had a look at your website, and this struck me very forcibly. When the ego dissolves, then and there the soul becomes the possessor of all qualities, the absolute. That really rings, I'm behind all that. I fully connect with that. It's so true. So when the ego dissolves, you really feel the power of the absolute within. So that's the beautiful sentence from your website, and I thought it was beautiful. So we normally start with a pause, and we do this in Sanskrit, Upashanto Bhava, and then we chant Om Paramatmane Namaha. So bow to the Supreme Self within. So that's how we start our classes, and we spend a bit of time just being quiet. Now, yes.
Ayam nijah paro veti kanana laghu chetasam udara charitanam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam. Aham khalu charanaiva aham tava srusha api udara charitanam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam.
The school website, johnscottis.ie.
Bhumi Mangalam, Udaga Mangalam, Agni Mangalam.
So these are more beautiful words. Children understand them readily. Only you are mother, and you alone are father. Only you are family, only you are a friend. You alone are knowledge, you alone are wealth. You alone are my all, O God of gods. So again, Tvameva Mata Cha, you probably know this. A lot of people in India know this particular verse. It's at the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. And I think that's, I'm coming to the end of this now. So that's just Tvameva Mata.
Tvameva Mata Cha, Pita Tvameva. Tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva. Tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva. Tvameva सर्वं मम देव देव.
It was an amazing presentation to see that what you are doing for our next generation. It's been an amazing video, though it's very short and being done through remote hosting. But it's very, I mean, when I see these young kids growing with some values and
So
Please.
I was very delighted to see your presentation. When I was watching those, it strikes my mind about, like, my ideal or my teacher, Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra. So he told something. I will narrate that, and I want to see your view, like you've been teaching Sanskrit and like the humanity, right? So what Thakur said, like you have 10 to 12 years when a child grows up of age to mold his inner part.
Right.
What that means, I mean, Deepak maybe correct me if I understand wrongfully. That means when I came here, I see that implementation in the society, because like even my kid, so they have at the age of 13, they entered in high school. It calls here as a grade 9. I see a rapid change in their behavior. When they move from at the age of 12 to 13, they call it as a teenage.
Correct.
Like, they wear the colorful glass and they see the world in different. I have experienced that in my life recently, 2 years back. And I have been telling that to my friends that, hey, you have to be careful. You have only that 12 years to mold your child to be the best. So the question to you, this we learn from Thakur because I'm attached to him.
Of course.
So now the question to you, I want to know your view, how you see that, because you have been teaching Sanskrit and those the old scriptures. Did you find anything that is age related, like as Thakur said, hey, you have 12 years, and I have experienced that. So I want to see your view.
Yes.
Being a Western, how do you see that? Like how that is related in every individual's life?
Very clear, very clear. Yeah, there is a verse in Sanskrit. It starts with Ladayet and then Tadayet and then Mitram. So it's saying that up to the age of 5, treat a child with love and play. From 5 to 10, give him discipline. And from 10 to 16, give them a reason. So they will now no longer just accept what you say from 10 to 16. I think it's a bit earlier than 12, actually. It says in the scriptures 10 to 16. And then so you give them, they will ask you reasons, and they won't do things just anymore. They won't accept your authority anymore unless you give them a reason. So unless you explain to them, no, there's a reason why you have to wear your uniform, or why it doesn't matter what it is, why you have to listen to your teacher, or why you should help in cleaning the dishes, or whatever it is. If they don't understand the reason, they will rebel. So unless we are very clear on the principles ourselves, the children will be confused, and it will damage them a little bit. So from up to 16, then they will want argument. There will be a lot of arguments because that's natural. This is just Mother Nature kicking in. And then from 16, you treat them like a friend. So because then they have, that faculty should be established by then, and your relationship changes again. So at 16, you then treat them in a different way. They still are a guest in your house, and you still have to tell them, look, you know, in my house, these are the rules, but at the same time, you do it differently. So there are these, according to the verse in the Sanskrit, I think it's from the Purana. So it basically says from 0 to 5, treat them with love and play. From 5 to 10 with discipline. And then practice reason, and after 16, treat him like a friend. So that's as educators, exactly the same as parents. There's no difference between a parent and an educator, really, because the parent is the first educator. And then the teachers are only second to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is those who follow Anukul Chandra, Thakur Anukul Chandra, we learn that, and it's very important. What I realized that not everyone has that knowledge. So like as you mentioned, so exactly what Thakur said is very important. That is the beauty, to have the guidance from a person who has materialized that, who has realized that in his life. So
Exactly. Yeah.
oh, thank you for your
Very
kind of
good.
synchronization, the way we think.
Yes. Same thing.
And the way you think. So it's
Yeah.
exactly synchronized. Deepak, you have few lines here.
But this is ancient wisdom. It's not me. It's just we need to study the ancient wisdom so that we can help others. Yeah. And teachers will be telling us these things anyway, like you have just explained. Yeah. Sorry, Deepak.
No. What exactly he was mentioning about the Vedic Puran and all these things is actually Thakurer bola ache, sorry, it's actually a saying of Thakur, and also I've heard it from Pujaniya Ma. 8 থেকে 10 বছরের ভেতরে, তো 8 to 10 years old. So I think what he reconfirmed actually for the Vedic and Aryan culture and the principle is actually what Thakur has told, and that actually heard from Pujaniya Ma also twice because of my daughters. And
I have a small question, Rotha.
Yes.
We are talking about teachers teaching our students. How do you think that can it not be mutual? I mean, teachers teaches the student, and teachers learns from the student as well in the process of teaching. How do you see that aspect?
So let's say we're blessed as teachers to be in the company of children, because the purity, the emotional, they're so emotionally so intact. And it only gets worse when they're getting older, unfortunately. So we're very blessed to be in the company of small children. I think the younger, the better even, because they are just very, very pure, and everything is very clear still. And then so we learn a lot actually just from being in their company. And also, let's say if I was not teaching, I might think, oh, I have really done something, but children humble me. Any arrogance that will be in me will be shown up by children. So it's a blessing. I'm grateful for being just a teacher, because I can be in the company of the best company. You're talking about satsang. This is what I call satsang, being with children. Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, somewhere I read that teachers, when they're in the profession for a long, long time, they become stiff. And it's like the water frozen to ice.
Yes.
And because of the ego that I know everything, it becomes stiff. But when you become like a water, your ego melts.
Yes.
You're like a water, you can take the shape of anything that you are moving.
Lovely.
It was very lovely to hear. Thank you very much.